Hey there! Do you have an electric sauna that you wish you could start remotely or illuminate with LEDs? This video is for you. I built this sauna a few years back, and the manufacturer at the time didn't offer LED lighting or a smart solution for remotely starting. And being a power user of Home Assistant and a home automator at heart, I really wanted to understand how I could get this system to be remotely started. Particularly when I'm coming back from Whistler, I want to have that sauna on nice and hot when I get home. Let's get hacking. All right, it's diagram time. Here is how my sauna was set up. There's a 240 volt AC line coming in to power the heater. That's 9,000 watts. That's a lot of power. We're going to stay well away from that circuit. The 240 volt line also goes to a step down transformer that brings power down to 24 volt AC to power the sauna controller. The controller also has a temp sensor to know what temperature it is in the sauna and whether the heater should go on or not, and uses the circuit to go to the contactor to turn the heater on or off. This is similar to a relay, but a contactor is used for more high voltage applications. So for my two hacks, I'm going to need power, and that's the problem, is that the low voltage is still an AC, which is not compatible with things like ESPs, Arduinos, and Raspberry Pis that run off DC current. So I cracked open the controller to see what was inside, and it's pretty basic controller. We had some buttons for power, changing temperature, and changing time. But other than that, it seemed pretty simple. As you can see on the bottom right, that's the ICD or in-circuit debugger. We're going to stay well away from that as well based off of my reading. But that button on the top left, that's the button that we need to hack. So I did need to test out this theory. So I pulled out the multimeter, turned it on to continuity testing, and started testing which parts of that button were on the one side versus the other side of the circuit. Second was, can I simulate a button push by putting something in parallel of that switch? And that's where a relay comes in. Now, there's no shortage of relay options on the internet, particularly on a website like AliExpress, but finding one that could take an AC input was the challenge. After scouring the website, I did find the relay that will work. As you can see, it can take AC or DC from 7 to 32 volts, which is perfect for our power inputs. So this is the basic diagram. As you can see, I've got 24 volt AC coming in. That was going directly to the sauna controller, but now I want to split it out. I want to split one circuit down to the Zigbee relay and one out to the LED drivers. The green wires is my vampiring of the relay onto the switch, essentially creating a parallel circuit with the switch that would simulate the switch closing. I did have to learn a little bit about relays because I actually haven't played with too many of them, but essentially a relay has two different settings. One is normally open and one is normally closed. In this case, we want a normally open relay configuration, and then when it's triggered, it closes the circuit. As a bonus, this relay had a setting that allowed for the relay to close for 1 second and then release, which is perfect for my use case. So I've learned my lesson in terms of putting everything together and then hoping it works. I did want to do some more testing. So after soldering the wires onto the PCB board, I put the multimeter back on and then put the wires together to simulate the switches closing. Now the last step is putting it all back together. And there was a few challenges with the very, very narrow tolerances of where the wires were going to be fitting in, but I did get it put back together in one piece. Now, when putting it back together, I did have to have the relay on the outside of the box. And I think that's okay. It's a low cost solution. So if it does get burnt out or shorts, it's not going to be a big issue. I put some double-sided tape on there, which I don't think is going to last too long in the winter, but the container that I'm putting it in, a fireproof little plastic box, is going to be pressing against it. So ideally it will stick together. All right, now the final stretch, putting it all back together. And there were quite a bit of wiring there. My diagrams do simplify it a bit, and using the knockoff Wagos became a challenge, and that is foreshadowing. So I had a bit of a wiring problem. Wire broke in there and I had to pull it all apart, but you see it's off right now. And then I'm going to pull open the Home Assistant right here, and then I'm going to push switch. And look at that, it's on. Sauna officially hacked. And that's it, it works. I hope this helps you hack your sauna and more. If you like this video, give me a subscribe. This helps me know what content to build. And I might do a follow-up on how I've configured Home Assistant to have a one-button push that will turn on the sauna, turn off the backyard lights, and disable the heat pump for a proper sauna session. And until next time, I will see you in the future.